Well, hello everybody. My name is Nico Ziek, and today I'm going to do a demo for Liquit Workspace. I'll start off with a couple of slides, a little introduction about Liquit and the company, and then we go into a live demo showing you Liquit Workspace. So let's kick off with the slides. Liquit is a Netherlands-based software vendor founded 5 years ago, and we're focusing on delivering the modern workspace to end users, delivering the optimal user experience for end users, and combining legacy and modern applications from a one-stop portal. Our vision, very important for a company to have a vision, we say IT should be like water from the tap, which means when I'm at home, I open my hot water tap and hot water just flows out. I don't have to think about it, what happens on the back end. I just want to have my hot water. If we dive into IT, it's getting a little bit more complex. Looking at the way Apple does things, you just simply download an app from App Store and it just works. You don't have to do anything. If we take a further step to enterprise IT, it's getting really complex. We have a lot of systems working around, like centralized system, local applications, virtualized applications, and the user always has to think about where things are coming from. So we try to deliver the workspace like IT from water from the tap. So I just simply click on something and everybody runs just as it's supposed to be. So that's why we say we leave no app behind. With Liquit, we are able to deliver any form of application into one single pane of glass for the end user, while the administrator can have full control over what happens on the back end. So then we deliver IT like water from the tap. So how is the workspace today? How is the world operating today? So basically, we have 3 clouds. So we have the private cloud, the public cloud, and something we call the personal cloud. The private cloud is already something a customer has on his on-premise situation. They've built their own IT operations, they have their own hardware, their own licensing, and usually when you buy some new software solution, you have just to phase out the old software or old hardware directly. So it's just a rip and replace. That's not convenient for an end user, or really complex to achieve. So a lot of times you hear, we don't have the time right now to do this. It's complex. How do I migrate my end users? With Liquit, you're able to integrate with your current IT solutions. So we connect to the current on-premise solutions, delivering an easy migration path into a new modern workspace. The modern workspace can be a portal-driven solution, can be a cloud solution, can be a hybrid solution, or even full on-premise scenarios. But without phasing out the current IT environment, but just integrating within, you make an easy step towards it. So Liquit integrates with a variety of systems, like Citrix, VMware, RDS environments on-premise, but also client-server applications. We are able to distribute and deploy any form of application. What you see these days a lot is that companies and customers are moving to the public cloud. Well, everybody knows Office 365 and software as a service solutions, but also these days you see a lot of Citrix cloud enablement, Windows Virtual Desktop, or all the other workspace solutions in the cloud. For an end user, these things are very complex to understand. Now I have to log on Citrix Storefront, for instance, and tomorrow I have to go to Windows Virtual Desktop. A lot of confusion, a lot of questions to the IT support engineers. What if I have to roll back? Then it's getting complex again. With Liquit, we can publish and integrate with a variety of cloud solutions, making a seamless transition to the cloud possible. Then looking at the personal cloud, it's not a cloud per se, it's a way people work on a day-to-day basis. So in my office, I work on my laptop, and I move home or I move out of my office, I just have my iPad with me. Wouldn't it be great that I can just run something on my iPad, going to the same location and see the same icon, but then a different interaction? Liquit is able to deliver applications on any platform, in any way, and any device. So a personal cloud is the way a user works on a day-to-day basis without noticing it. So we give the user the feeling of freedom and for an IT admin in a controlled environment. Liquit is so bridging the gap between legacy and cloud. So we are that solution that can deliver anything on-premise, but also supporting full cloud-native solutions. What you see with traditional solutions, they are great in delivering something on-premise, like System Center, delivering and deploying applications and services on your RDS platform. But as it comes to cloud, it's getting really complex for those solutions. Other solutions like Microsoft Intune or VMware AirWatch are great solutions in delivering something on mobile devices or cloud-based solutions, but when something needs to be done in their data centers, it's not really complex, really good. So Liquit is that solution in the middle. We can deliver flexibility on-premise and in the cloud. So what is Liquit? Liquit is a lot of stuff, so we can do a lot of stuff all at once. So starting from the left top side, we deliver smart icons to the end user. A smart icon is an icon that will adapt to the user's needs and possibilities in time. So, to give an example, I want to work in my SAP client. I'm in my office, I have a good connection to my data center. I will click on my icon. SAP will run on my local device. It will give me the best performance. But as soon as I move out of my office, my SAP client does not have a connection to my data center anymore, but I still need to work. So then I click on the smart icon again, but then the way the icon will behave will adapt to the user's possibilities. It can be serving an RDS session with the same press on a button. Liquit will simply broker a session into an RDS session and manage that RDS session end to end. To achieve that, Liquit does software delivery. We deliver any form of software, so legacy applications like executables and MSIs, but also modern applications like AppVs, MSIX, and even for Windows Virtual Desktop we're able to deliver a Microsoft App-attached applications on demand. It's not only software delivery, we do also the second tier around those applications, because an application delivered just as an application is useless. It needs a lot of configuration. So Liquit also delivers ODBC settings, registry settings, services, and all properties required for an application. So basically, we do workspace management. Now, Liquit does workspace management on the endpoint, so on the local device, but also in your virtualized environments, like your VDI environment, like your RDS environment, or your Citrix solutions. Liquit also has a release and patch mechanism. So we deliver a in-dept system for developing and testing your applications and easy staging into production. And we have our own setup store containing thousands of applications with smart wizards so that you can publish an application without any manual packaging work. Then you deliver it into one of your in-dept stages, the user can test the application and easy stage it into production without any hassle. This saves you a lot of time doing recurring packaging work. Everything you can build can be placed inside a catalog. Every package you can create within Liquit, no matter if it's a printer request, drive mapping, or just an application, you can place it in your catalog. And it comes with a workflow, so a manager or IT services can approve a specific request. What makes Liquit really powerful is filtering. With Liquit we can set a lot of filters to get to just the right scenario for the end user, so the user does not have to think about it anymore, delivering the true feeling of IT like water from the tap. So you can do that on smart icons, on your software delivery, but also on your deployments. We call these things a context, so it's attribute-based access control or role-based access control or a combination of both. So reading out what's available on the endpoint, looking at the endpoint, the location of the user, the role within the company, that defines the context for an end user, delivering the right application in the right moment at the right way for the right user. Liquit also provides software a single sign-on. Single sign-on for software as a service applications, but also for remoting systems like RDS or Windows Virtual Desktop or Citrix. And Liquit can be that identity provider. So if a user is smart enough to go to the software as a service solution, it will go directly to the URL. It gets rerouted to Liquit Workspace. We do the authentication for you against your AD or your Azure AD. And based on your authentication, we decide, do I have access right now to this application or not? It can be context-based even. And Liquit is also able to do deployments, so we can do full system deployments. We can't do bare metal deployments, but we're able to complete the Microsoft Autopilot process or your basic image deployment. So we place your Liquit agent on your systems, and Liquit is able to deploy your Windows-based thin clients, your desktops, your laptops, but also creating your Citrix Golden images or your RDS images, or even other remoting systems. So Liquit can be that end-to-end distribution deployment solution for your company. On the other hand, you need to publish your applications to your end users. So we have created our own interface. It's an HTML5 based workspace aggregating a lot of applications. So here you see an overview how our look and feel looks like. But if you don't like our look and feel, you want to publish your application in external solutions, Liquit has some smart ways to distribute any application in any form. So here we have, for instance, our Microsoft Teams integration. Liquit has a Microsoft Teams app available where you can publish any form of application, no matter if it's a local installed application, a remote application, or web-based application, inside Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams can be your communication and collaboration platform where you work with your colleagues, where you interact with your colleagues, where you can share files and chat, start your meetings, but also launch your applications. How this works? As soon as a user logs in Microsoft Teams, we do a single sign-on into a Liquit Workspace, determining what needs to be done on your local device, deploying any requirements if you set something. On the other hand, the smart icons will adapt to the user possibilities. So, inside the office, you get served a local application. Outside my office, I get my remoting application. For the end user, Microsoft Teams is going to be their end-to-end workspace on a day-to-day basis. So it's the only thing they need and the only place they need to know to get their work done. We also work with external solutions. So here you see an example of one of our Dutch healthcare customers. This is a social intranet from one of our partners. They've created a button which will launch a widget to Liquit Workspace. So we have an API availability to deliver any form of application. So you see the same integration again, the same applications, but published differently. As long as you have a solution available which can support a widget, Liquit is able to publish their applications inside your modern workspace. This can be your intranet solution, this can be a new designed web page, an external solution, whatever you want. It works exactly the same way as Microsoft Teams does. So as soon as a user logs into the web page, you will be single sign-on into Liquit Workspace and then deliver any application on any device. We also have a SharePoint widget available from the SharePoint App Store, and Liquit is able to publish applications natively in your start menu or in your desktop. So then we are the traditional workspace management solution again, delivering smart applications on your desktop. And Liquit also has the availability, the option to deliver applications in a smart way in an offline scenario. So if you don't have an online connection, we can still deliver any form of application. Of course, the application does not need any internet connection, that's the requirement. So how can you deploy Liquit? Liquit supports a variety of scenarios. The first one is full on-premises installation, so Liquit can run in your local data center. The second one is in the cloud. So we offer Liquit as a software as a service solution from the cloud. But we do encourage our partners to create their own Liquit software as a service solution to deliver a Liquit Workspace to their end customers. And last, we can deliver Liquit in a full hybrid scenario, a part of the service on-premise and a part of the service in the cloud. So Liquit supports a variety of scenarios, and I just have two examples. So of course we do single instance deployments, but Liquit also supports full multi-tenant scenarios for a managed service provider and all other solutions. There are other options available. Please contact us if you want to have all alternative scenarios. So now let's go into a live demo of Liquit Workspace, which I'll perform on my machine. I need to switch over, closing my presentation. I don't want to save the changes. So here we are in my live environment. This is the environment on demo.liquit.com. And what you see here is our interface. This is our interface containing the applications for an end user. So you see an aggregation of all sorts of applications. So some local installations, some already installed applications, some remote applications, some modern applications like MSIX applications. I'm going to start a couple of applications and we'll show afterwards what has been done. So on the left hand side you see categories of new applications, favorite apps. So if I click on new apps, you see applications with some changes. So an end user has an easy overview about what's changed in their environment. Below that you see the tags. These tags are specified by the administrators containing a specific group of applications, for instance in this case Office 365 applications. So I can filter out my applications if I have too many applications on my desktop. It makes it easy for an end user. In our contact screen you see an overview of the users available. These are my colleagues and this is me. And there I can see where I'm located, my phone number, my email address, and I can perform remote control from a service desk perspective to my desktop. Also I can go to manage user. I can change my user properties in this screen. So I can modify my personal settings, my personal preferences or other services. In my catalog, currently no application located, so I'll remove one from my desktop and place them to my personal machine. So I have here now an application in my catalog. If I click on this application, I can see some information about the application, a classification for stars or possible reviews that you can give to an application. Because I'm an administrator, I can manage my application and here I can request the application. It can be done with a workflow as earlier told, but in this scenario there's no workflow, so as soon as I hit on Get Google Chrome for Business, my application will be delivered to my workspace. So here it is on my workspace again. So let's launch the first application. I'm an end user. I don't know which kind of device I'm working from. I don't know where I'm coming from. I just simply want to work. So for my work I need my 7-zip. I click on 7-zip and Liquit will download, install, configure and run the application instantaneously. So it runs my application on my local device. So Liquit just followed a little workflow. So I'll show you. I go to Manage and I go show you the actions that Liquit just performed. So Liquit actually first tried to detect whether or not the application is available on the device. How it did was first follow an action set from the install sequence. So here you see install and uploaded MSI from the portal. As soon as I clicked on this application, Liquit downloaded the application, installed it on my local device, following these procedures. So first Liquit tried to install the x68 MSI. We followed the native MSI with silent parameters, followed by a filter. So Liquit is detecting, is this MSI suitable for my platform? In this case, specifically not, because I have a 64-bit machine. So it would simply skip this task and go to the next one. So there is the x64 MSI. So you see this alternative MSI with an alternative filter, platform architecture x64. This one is installed on my device. So Liquit was done with installing and would go to the next sequence. In this case, it would try to launch my 7-zip process on my local system using a variable defined by Liquit itself, and actually try to launch a native process. We also added some filters to this process to make sure this just starts when required and when possible. So first Liquit launched the application, tried to see if the process exists. Is it successfully installed, yes or no? Or am I internal? In this case I'm in the office, so of course I can launch the application because I'm internal. Both conditions met. So Liquit launched the application 7-zip as just shown on my device. If I didn't run from a Microsoft machine, in this case a 64 or 68-bit, 32-bit machine, it will simply launch an RDP session. The result for me as an end user, I can always run my applications as designed and I can always work in the most suitable fashion. I simply click on the application and it will run. Here you see Calculator. This is of course a Windows 10 application already installed on my device. Liquit is able to detect these applications on my local device and to see whether or not these are available. So I can click on my application and it simply runs already installed local application on my device. This is actually a Windows 10 universal app. So Liquit also fully supports universal apps. Now let's look at a different scenario. So here I have my Microsoft Excel and now I click on Excel. It will launch the Office 365 Excel with single sign-on into my browser. That's sad because Liquit is configured this way right now. I'll show you the follow sequence and I'll show you what Liquit actually tried to do. So now the order is first try to launch Excel online, then go to the next steps. Let's change it. And you can see how easy things can be changed. So Liquit always follows the procedure from top down. So now I change something. I stage this in our in-dept system to a production environment, creating an automatic snapshot. So if I make any mistakes, I can easily revert my snapshot. I do confirm. Without relogging on, I just go to my desktop again. I click on Microsoft Excel. And now Microsoft Excel will be launched on my local device. So Liquit actually follows the workflow. This is the same Office 365 Microsoft Excel. But now Liquit is able to detect whether or not I have the Office 365 Microsoft Excel available on my local device. So what's happening there then? If I look at my actions, you see here a couple of actions. The result of this is that the user is always able to start the local application or the most suitable application for the user. It's always able to run the application. So first Liquit starts to look for Excel 2016 on your local device, following a workflow and looking for this process. There is a filter on it. It only will perform this one if platform is Windows. If you're not on a Windows device or this file is not found, Liquit will go to the next task. So there's trying to run the Microsoft Excel on your Apple device, following the Excel launch commands for your Apple device with the platform filter iOS. So this task will only be done and run on an Apple platform, a mobile Apple platform. If that is not true, it will go to the next task, so even an older version. So if you're in a migration scenario, Liquit is still able to launch the application with a single icon. And last but not least, Liquit would launch the Excel online. So the final result is that I'm always able to launch this application. You can add as many tasks to this sequence as you like and many in the order you would like to get them. So there are some modern application scenarios also available. So looking into, for instance, where is my application? My Smart FTP. This is actually an application in MSIX format. So what Liquit will do, this is a trial software, so I do continual trial. It actually launches my application and it will launch the Smart FTP MSIX application. So Liquit fully supports MSIX and also Microsoft App Attach applications. What actually has been done is Liquit is always trying to be run as native as possible. So this application is created via our setup command software. It's fully automatically created by Liquit. At first it downloads and installs the suitable MSIX application, so the x64 application. So you see it is in MSIX format, following a filter only if the platform architecture is 64 bits. Then we first try to launch the normal FTP client. So actually looking in the 32-bit program files folder, Smart FTP client, and then looking for the executable. And as shown here, it's not available on my local device. So there is no Smart FTP already installed. So we'd go to the next phase and try to launch the x68 or the x64 one. Because I have a 64-bit machine, it would run this process, and as just shown, it launches successfully the MSIX application. So first try to run as native as possible, and afterwards we try to launch the MSIX application. And of course, there is also an uninstall parameter available. So if you use a bring your own device, you can configure Liquit when logging off or session disconnect to remove all the applications already installed. It's easy for bring your own device, so no software will be left on your device. There are also some other options available. For instance, here I see my applications like Microsoft Paint. Microsoft Paint can be run in a couple of scenarios. Of course, you can run it locally, but in some cases it's not able to run locally. So this is Microsoft Paint, but it can also be your SAP client or any other software. So in my office, I'm able to run it on my local machine, but as soon as I go out of my office, I want to have a Windows Virtual Desktop session. So I click on my icon, and Liquit will launch a Windows Virtual Desktop session. We will perform the single sign-on for you, configure your Windows Virtual Desktop session, and then launch Microsoft Paint on your system. Here we go. And it's configuring the session, doing the single sign-on, and launching Microsoft Paint on your WVD. This is actually one of the Liquit connectors. So if we look how this application is configured, I'll go to Manage. It will run a WVD session. So this process, first look on my local device, is not enabled. So start Microsoft Paint on my WVD environment. This is created by our WVD connector. So I go to Manage and to Connectors. And here you see an example of our connectors. So we're connected to another Liquit environment for multi-tenancy. We have our setup store, which I will show you later, and in this case, our WVD connector. So we can connect to a variety of systems like Citrix, like RDS, like WVD, reading out all available applications and sync them automatically into Liquit Workspace as a smart icon. So here we are connected to WVD. We're connected to the API of Microsoft with a service account. We've created a single sign-on template which will read out the current credentials you're logged in with on your Liquit Workspace, so you don't need to be connected to a domain. This is now our current logged on credentials. We are also able to use alternative credential sets. And we created an install dependency. So Liquit will always try to install the RDP client before launching a WVD session. We try to run as native as possible and then fall back on alternative scenarios like HTML5. So then we can read out the resources already available. And here you see the resource we have available, and we can simply create a package from these applications in Liquit. So I can do this right now. I want to address these applications to me, and I'm going to publish them in production. Next, finish. Now Liquit will download the applications and all settings from the WVD environment, publish them inside my Liquit Workspace, and I'm good to go for my end users, and Liquit will provide you for application deployment, including single sign-on, deploying all the other stuff you might just need for your Windows Virtual Desktop environment. This is for Windows Virtual Desktop. We can do exactly the same thing for Citrix or any other virtualization platform. Now you want to create more advanced scenarios. So I go to my 7-zip again, and here you can see the actions. Liquit supports a lot of actions for controlling, configuring and managing your applications just right for the end user. So we can add as many tasks as we would like to this sequence. For instance, we can just connect printers, install or upload the files, create some directories, edit some files, update your applications. So these applications are coming from a portal, but you can also create alternative scenarios where the applications are coming from a file server location, defining based on our filters where you want to install it. If I'm in the office, please use my file server. If I'm working from remote, please use the Liquit Cloud environment. We can do any sort of script, we can start any process, we can launch any Windows app, distribute alternative packages. We can even connect your drive mappings. And Liquit can do drive mappings based on the credentials you're logged in on your current Liquit session. So your device doesn't need to be connected to the domain. So it's suitable for bringing your own device scenarios, and as soon as the user logs off, the drive mapping will be destroyed again. We can set environment variables, we can even modify group memberships, and in some scenarios it's great just to prompt the user. For instance, in a bring your own device scenario, you need to have approval to install something. So and a user can do an opt-in on this one, so I can say a yes or no. And if a user clicks on no, what should we do then? Give the user an error, skip an action set, skip a full action set, or skip the complete package. So in this case, it could be, I want to install 7-zip. If the user doesn't allow it, I would go to the launch sequence and try to launch the RDP session. I can still work, not as good as I would like to, but it's still able to work, and we can deliver any form of application in any type. You can just add as many tasks as you would like to this, and on every single task you are able to create very advanced filter sets to get just the right setting in the right moment for the right user at the right time. So the user gets IT like water from the tap. I simply click on something, it will be configured just in time for the right system, for the right user. And you can create a variety of combinations of filters and settings. For instance, I want to update a driver. I want to have a system model like it contains or has a full sequence like HP. And I can say, but I only want to update this if the platform architecture is x64 and if I'm, in my context, located on an HP laptop. In any other case, simply skip this task, go to the next one. So the user will be never bothered again with any features. So now I'm going to show you the other connector we have. It's our Liquit Setup Store containing thousands of applications already available, and we will provide you with smart wizards for easy packaging. So I'm going to package Google Chrome live right now. So I'm browsing our Setup Store connector. I'm going to search for Google Chrome. And it's searching a little bit. I select Google Chrome for Business, which is updated 20th of May. I select Google Chrome, and Liquit will provide you and guide you through the sequence of packaging this application. I say update my existing package. I want to deliver this package to my acceptance user because I don't want to publish it right away in my production. I just want my acceptance user to test it first. I click on Next. Liquit provides you with some details about this application, some release notes from the vendor, some info from the vendor, and if available, a knowledge base article from Liquit, how this application is deployable. We also provide you with security scans like CV numbers, hashing, antivirus and malware scans. If there is any specific info available, a red bar will appear with some specific information. You can click on it and review what is wrong with this application. You can decide for yourself whether or not you want to deploy it. So I click on Next, and now Liquit serves you with our smart wizards. So instead of packaging this application by hand, which will take me approximately 4 to 6 hours to configure an application correctly, I can just simply select the features I like in my package and skip the ones I don't like and pre-configure it. I can set my home page in this case, and this would be the great website liquit.com. And my distribution preference, I want to import my history and bookmarks from my previous versions, and I want to show the OEM bubble for whatever reason. And I click on Save, and basically now my packaging is done. This is my full packaging process. So you can see how much time this can save you. So next, I want to address this application now to my user. I say can see this application as an acceptance user. I click on Confirm. I say Next and Finish. Now Liquit will download the MSI, and based upon your wizard, your answer wizard, we will create a transform file for you, and based on those parameters we'll create the installation details within Liquit Workspace. So after this, the full application deployment is done. So now you see it's already downloaded and already configured in Liquit Workspace, and we've created several tasks. So we created a download task for the MSI, which will be downloaded to your package temp there. We've created a download task for your custom files. That's your transform file, your answer file just created. We've created the installation sequence, so we're going to install the Google Standalone Enterprise MSI with the silent parameters and the log file location. And we're going to apply the transform file, which we've just created upon your answered wizard. And last but not least, we're going to clean up our own mess. So we clean up the temp there again, and your application is fully ready for your end user to test, run and configure. The users can test this application because it's already published in acceptance, and if you're done, you can stage it into your production stage, and packaging is completely done for this application. If there is an update and that wizard is still valid in a new feature, Liquit can auto-download that application again to your acceptance user. So without any interaction or any manual work, Liquit can update an application by itself. So then you can focus on your business needs. And of course you can still customize this application. You can add another task, whatever you like to be run. So Liquit is basically able to run any form of application in any way on any platform. No matter if it's a desktop, a Windows Virtual Desktop application, software as a service application with single sign-on, local installed applications, or already available applications like the calculator. Now last but not least, if you don't like a front end, we're able to run external solutions. We work together with a variety of solutions which will use our API information. So I just talked about Microsoft Teams, other portal solutions, and in this case I will show you the SharePoint Online integration we've created for this demo. So currently I'm running on liquid.sharepoint.com, that's Microsoft Office 365 SharePoint Online, containing a demo page with some demo information, and this is the integration we have with Microsoft SharePoint Online, serving you all the same applications again. And I can simply click on an application and it will launch the application, for instance Microsoft Excel, which will go to the Office 365 Online, serving you with single sign-on. And I'm still able to run any application from any external platform. And you can customize the way the application will look. So this is a tile mode with dark theme. It can be a modern theme, can be icons, it can be any way. You can publish any application into any platform. So this is for me the demo right now. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us or go to our website, liquid.com. There you can request our own demo environment or schedule a follow-up meeting. Thanks for watching.